Have you always believed that vegetables are always good for your health? What if I told you that some vegetables, right there in your daily meals, could be silently damaging your kidneys, causing dangerous spikes in blood sugar, or even triggering joint inflammation and pain? What's even more concerning is that one of the most harmful ones might be sitting in your fridge right now. For years, nutrition experts have advised older adults to eat more leafy greens. But the truth is, after age 60, your body doesn't process foods the same way it used to. Some vegetables, once praised as superfoods, may actually be the reason behind your unexplained fatigue, bloating, or chronic aches. And most people don't realize this until it's too late. In today's video, we're revealing 10 vegetables that seniors should avoid if they want to protect kidney health, manage blood sugar levels, and reduce inflammation effectively. This isn't meant to scare you. It's here to help you better understand how the aging body changes and how to make smarter food choices. You might be surprised that some of the veggies on this list are the very ones you've been told to eat every day. Stick around until the end, because we won't just share the list of vegetables to avoid, we'll also give you healthier, senior-friendly alternatives that are backed by science. If you care about your health or that of an aging loved one, don't miss this essential information. Before we get started, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you never miss our weekly health insights. And feel free to drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from. Now let's begin. Number 10. Peas, the hidden sugar bomb. You might think that green peas are a harmless vegetable. Small, green, often added to healthy meals. Many people believe peas are a great source of fiber, plant-based protein, and important micronutrients. But if you're over 60, it might be time to take a closer look at this familiar ingredient with a bit more caution. The first reason: peas contain significantly more natural sugars than leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables. With a relatively high glycemic index, green peas can cause sharp spikes in blood sugar after meals, especially risky for those with diabetes or insulin resistance. These blood sugar surges not only lead to fatigue and increased hunger, but they can also fuel chronic low-grade inflammation. If you often find yourself feeling sluggish or hungry again soon after eating, peas could be part of the problem. But there's more. Green peas also contain purines, natural compounds that can raise uric acid levels in the blood. For older adults, that's a serious concern. High uric acid is a leading cause of gout, a painful, inflammatory form of arthritis that often affects the toes or ankles. Excess purines also place added stress on the kidneys, increasing the risk of kidney stones and long-term kidney damage. If you've experienced sudden joint pain or discomfort in your kidney area, cutting back on peas might bring unexpected relief. And let's not forget digestion. Green peas contain resistant starches and lectins, compounds that are harder to break down, especially as digestion slows with age. The result: bloating, gas, and even abdominal cramps. If you've ever felt unusually full or uncomfortable after a meal with peas, it could be your stomach sounding the alarm. So, should you completely eliminate peas from your diet? Not necessarily. If you enjoy their slightly sweet flavor, consider eating them in small portions, ideally paired with healthy fats and proteins to slow down sugar absorption. However, if you're managing diabetes, gout, or kidney issues, limiting or avoiding peas could be a smart move. Small, familiar, but not entirely harmless. Green peas are proof that not all vegetables are safe for everyone, especially during the more delicate stages of aging. Sometimes, changing just one ingredient in your meal can make a big difference in how you feel and live each day. Number 9. Asparagus, a kidney stressor in disguise. You may have heard plenty of praise for asparagus, a vegetable often hailed as a superfood, thanks to its rich supply of vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. It's a common star in heart-healthy, clean eating, and weight loss meal plans. But if you're an older adult, it might be time to take a closer look at this seemingly harmless veggie, because beneath its healthy image lie potential risks that few people talk about. The first concern lies in asparagus's high purine content. Purines are natural compounds found in many foods that, when metabolized, produce uric acid. For older adults, especially those with a history of gout, excess uric acid can accumulate in the joints, triggering painful flare-ups. Ever woken up with a red, swollen foot, so sore you couldn't put it on the ground? Gout could be the culprit, and asparagus might be quietly fueling the fire. Even if you've never had gout, elevated uric acid can worsen inflammatory arthritis, causing prolonged, nagging joint pain. Another often misunderstood aspect of asparagus is its strong diuretic effect. While many believe this helps detox the body, frequent urination can be a double-edged sword for seniors. As we age, our bodies retain water less effectively, and our thirst response becomes slower. The result? Dehydration can creep in long before you notice it. In older adults, dehydration isn't just about dry mouth. It can cause dizziness, confusion, muscle cramps, and increased strain on the kidneys. If you're living with kidney disease or reduced kidney function, eating too many diuretic foods like asparagus could further compromise your health. That doesn't mean you need to cut asparagus out completely, but it does mean you should consume it with caution. If you enjoy asparagus, make sure to stay well hydrated and limit how often you eat it, especially if you're managing gout or kidney issues. Cooking asparagus thoroughly can also help reduce its purine levels slightly. Asparagus might look like a clean vegetable on paper, but for the aging body, it's not always the safest choice. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your health is to ask the right question. Is this food still right for my body today? Because what benefited you at age 40 might become a burden once you've crossed into your 70s. Number 8. Corn, the blood sugar spiker. Corn is one of the most widely consumed foods in the world, found in everything from boiled cobs and tortillas to popcorn, breakfast cereals, and processed foods containing corn syrup. It's often considered a natural source of fiber and shows up regularly in daily diets. But for older adults, corn is far from harmless. In fact, it may be a silent enemy, affecting digestion, blood sugar, and long-term health if not managed carefully. The first and most noticeable issue is corn's poor digestibility. Unlike many other vegetables, corn contains a high amount of cellulose, a type of fiber the human digestive system lacks the enzyme to fully break down. That's why you might still see whole kernels in your stool. While younger digestive systems can typically handle this without much trouble, aging brings decreased digestive strength and slower bowel movements, making corn more likely to cause bloating, gas, or stomach cramps, especially in those with IBS or chronic gut issues. The next risk lies in corn's high glycemic index, GI. Once consumed, corn quickly converts into sugar in the bloodstream, triggering spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels. For seniors already struggling with insulin sensitivity, this can increase the risk of prediabetes, weight gain, and hormonal imbalances. Even more concerning, consistently high blood sugar can damage the kidneys over time, making corn a hidden threat to renal health in the elderly. Another point of concern is that most corn today is genetically modified, GMO, and grown with large quantities of pesticides. Some studies have linked GMO consumption and chemical residues to disruptions in gut microbiota, increased chronic inflammation, and negative hormonal effects. In older adults, with slower metabolism and weakened immune systems, these toxins can accumulate over time, potentially contributing to arthritis, cardiovascular disease, or cognitive decline. So what should you do if you love corn? You don't have to cut it out completely, but you should change how you consume it. Choose organic, non-GMO corn and eat it in moderation to limit your exposure to agricultural chemicals. Avoid processed corn products like corn syrup, corn-based snacks, or refined corn cereals. These are the fastest ways to spike your blood sugar. Corn may seem harmless, but for seniors, it can be a source of internal imbalance, digestive disruption, and long-term health risks. Before you add another spoonful to your plate, consider this. Are you fueling your body with real nutrition or feeding a threat you just can't see yet? Number 7. Mushrooms. Not as safe as you think. Mushrooms have long been praised as a superfood, rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and known for supporting the immune system. Many older adults believe that eating mushrooms can help boost memory, promote longevity, and keep the body agile with age. However, there's a lesser-known side to this story. Mushrooms can also pose significant health risks, especially as we grow older. The first danger lies in their ability to absorb toxins from the environment. Mushrooms are natural biosponges, meaning they can soak up heavy metals and pollutants from the soil they grow in. Even edible mushrooms, if grown in contaminated soil, can accumulate harmful substances like cadmium, lead, or mercury. Once these toxins enter the body, they don't get flushed out easily. They accumulate over time, potentially damaging the liver, kidneys, and nervous system, which are already more vulnerable with age. Alarming as it may be, even store-bought mushrooms are not entirely safe if the origin of the soil isn't clearly known. Another concern is agaritine, a naturally occurring compound found in white button mushrooms and other common varieties. Some studies suggest that agaritine may have carcinogenic properties when consumed in large amounts over time. While cooking can significantly reduce the agaritine content, many older adults still consume mushrooms raw in salads or lightly cooked, unknowingly exposing themselves to this risk. Over time, this may not only impact gut health, but could also increase chronic inflammation and suppress immune function. Mushrooms can also trigger allergic reactions, a risk that's often overlooked in older populations. Certain proteins in mushrooms, particularly those related to fungal yeasts, can provoke immune responses leading to bloating, rashes, shortness of breath, or nausea after eating. Many people mistake these symptoms for aging or digestive troubles, when in fact, mushrooms may be the hidden cause. So, what's the safe path forward? First and foremost, always cook mushrooms thoroughly before eating. Heat helps break down agaritine and kills most bacteria, fungi, and harmful compounds. Choose organic mushrooms from reputable sources to reduce exposure to pesticides and environmental contaminants. For those who've experienced digestive discomfort or have a history of allergies, it may be wise to limit or completely eliminate mushrooms from their diet. Mushrooms, though small and nutrient-dense, are not always harmless. For seniors, they can be a hidden source of health complications. Before adding them to your meal, take a moment to consider your body's condition, your overall health, and the mushroom's origin. Because sometimes what's labeled a superfood might carry more risks than you think. Number 6. Cabbage, the thyroid disruptor. Cabbage has long been hailed as a superfood thanks to its high fiber content, abundant vitamins, and powerful antioxidants. It frequently appears in diet plans and weight loss menus, praised for supporting digestion, heart health, and weight control. However, there's a lesser-known side to cabbage. It can actually cause serious negative effects, especially for older adults. One of the first concerns is its impact on the digestive system. Cabbage contains raffinose, a complex sugar that the human body cannot fully digest. Once it reaches the gut, it is fermented by intestinal bacteria, producing gas and leading to bloating, discomfort, and a feeling of fullness. For seniors, whose digestive functions have weakened over time, cabbage can result in stomach pain, intestinal cramps, or acid reflux after meals. If you've ever felt bloated or uncomfortable after eating cabbage, it could be your body signaling trouble processing it. More concerning, however, is cabbage's effect on the thyroid gland. It contains high levels of goitrogens, natural compounds that interfere with the body's ability to absorb iodine, a key nutrient for producing thyroid hormones. In older adults, where thyroid function is often already compromised, frequent cabbage consumption can worsen symptoms of hypothyroidism, such as chronic fatigue, unexplained weight gain, dry skin, and brain fog. If you often feel cold, sluggish, or mentally unclear, your thyroid may be struggling, and cabbage could be silently playing a role. So, is there a solution for cabbage lovers? Absolutely. Consider switching to fermented forms of cabbage like sauerkraut or kimchi. Fermentation helps break difficult-to-digest compounds and reduces the activity of goitrogens, while also adding beneficial probiotics that support gut health. Cooking cabbage also reduces its impact on the thyroid, although it doesn't eliminate the risk entirely. For those already dealing with thyroid issues, it's best to consume cabbage in moderation and only in its cooked or fermented form. In conclusion, while cabbage may seem like a healthy vegetable, for older adults, it may bring more trouble than benefit, from digestive discomfort to thyroid disruption. Before making it a daily staple in your meals, take a moment to consider your unique body and health conditions. Sometimes, even the healthiest foods aren't the right choice for everyone. Number 5. Eggplant, the silent inflammation trigger. Eggplant is a common fixture in many family meals, especially in Mediterranean and Asian cuisines. With its soft texture, ability to absorb flavors, and low calorie count, it's often seen as a smart choice for those aiming to eat healthy. However, few realize that behind its glossy skin lies a compound that could pose serious health risks for older adults. Solanine. Solanine is a naturally occurring toxin found in nightshade vegetables, including eggplant, potatoes, and green tomatoes. In nature, it protects plants from pests, but when ingested by humans, solanine can trigger inflammation, particularly in those with arthritis, gout, or chronic pain. Many seniors experience increased joint pain or stiffness after eating eggplant, yet rarely suspect this familiar vegetable might be silently worsening their symptoms. Beyond joint issues, eggplant can also irritate the digestive system. Its tough skin and tiny seeds contain compounds that are difficult to break down and may irritate the stomach lining. For older adults with acid reflux, GERD, or sensitive digestion, eggplant can intensify symptoms such as heartburn, bloating, and discomfort. Some individuals may even experience mild allergic reactions like throat itchiness or general unease after eating it. So how can eggplant be enjoyed safely? The key lies in preparation. Cooking it thoroughly by roasting, pan-searing, or braising helps break down some of the solanine, reducing its negative impact. Peeling the skin before cooking can also minimize digestive irritation. And most importantly, consume it in moderation. If you're dealing with joint issues, stomach sensitivities, or kidney concerns, limiting your intake of eggplant could bring noticeable relief. Eggplant isn't inherently bad, but for older adults, it can be a hidden trigger for inflammation and discomfort. Paying attention to how your body responds and adjusting your diet accordingly can make a meaningful difference in managing age-related health challenges. Number 4. Potatoes, a blood sugar nightmare. Potatoes have long been a comfort food staple in many households. From mashed and fried to packaged snacks, they're a go-to dish for countless people. But for older adults, this seemingly harmless tuber can quietly pose significant health risks. One of the biggest concerns with potatoes is their high glycemic index, GI. This means that once consumed, potatoes are rapidly converted into sugar, leading to sharp spikes in blood glucose levels. For seniors, especially those living with diabetes, insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome, this can be extremely dangerous. Fluctuating blood sugar levels not only leave you feeling fatigued, hungry, and prone to weight gain, but also inflict long-term damage on the heart, kidneys, nerves, and blood vessels. The way potatoes are prepared adds another layer of risk. Fried dishes like French fries, chips, or high-temperature roasted potatoes often produce a chemical called acrylamide, an inflammatory compound linked to a higher risk of cancer. For older adults already dealing with arthritis, digestive issues, or a slower metabolism, acrylamide can worsen inflammation, sap energy, promote weight gain, and accelerate aging. Even baked potatoes, often seen as the healthier option, warrant caution. If eaten without the skin, which contains most of the fiber, even baked potatoes can cause rapid blood sugar spikes, leaving you hungry again shortly after eating. This disrupts weight management and makes it harder to maintain consistent energy throughout the day. So, what's the alternative? If you enjoy potatoes, consider switching to sweet potatoes. They're rich in fiber, have a lower glycemic index, and are packed with antioxidants. If you still prefer regular potatoes, eat them with the skin on and opt for boiling or steaming instead of frying. These small adjustments can make a significant difference to your overall health. Potatoes aren't the enemy, but for older adults, they're no longer the healthy staple they're often believed to be. Before your next serving, ask yourself, is this potato nourishing my health or quietly harming it? Number 3. Spinach, a kidney stone culprit. Spinach has long been hailed as a superfood, rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It's often recommended for boosting immunity, improving heart health, and supporting brain function. But for older adults, this seemingly wholesome leafy green may come with hidden risks, especially for kidney and bone health. The biggest concern with spinach lies in its extremely high oxalate content, a natural compound found in many plants, but particularly concentrated in spinach. When oxalates accumulate in the body, they tend to bind with calcium and form kidney stones. If you've ever experienced the sharp, intense pain caused by kidney stones, spinach might be silently contributing to your problem. As kidney function naturally declines with age, consuming too much oxalate can significantly raise the risk of stone formation in older adults. But the story doesn't stop there. Oxalates not only contribute to stone development, they also inhibit calcium absorption in the body. This means that even if you're consuming plenty of calcium-rich foods, your body might not be absorbing enough of it. For seniors, this is a serious concern. Long-term calcium deficiency can weaken bones, increase the risk of fractures, and accelerate the progression of osteoporosis. If you've been dealing with joint pain, frequent fractures, or brittle bones, your habit of eating too much spinach might be a hidden culprit you've never considered. So what's the safer way to enjoy this popular green? Cooking is key. Boiling or steaming spinach can significantly reduce its oxalate content, easing the strain on your kidneys and improving calcium absorption. Pairing spinach with calcium-rich foods like cheese or yogurt can also help offset some of its negative effects. But regardless of how you prepare it, moderation is crucial. Don't let the superfood label fool you. Spinach is not completely harmless. Especially in your later years, every dietary choice matters, not just for taste, but for protecting your bones and kidneys too. Number 2. Kale. The superfood that isn't always super. Kale has long been praised as one of the healthiest vegetables in the world. Packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, it's often at the top of healthy eating lists. However, behind its superfood label lies some hidden risks, especially for older adults. One of the most concerning issues with kale is its high oxalate content. Much like spinach, oxalates can bind with calcium in the body and form kidney stones. For seniors, whose kidney function naturally declines with age, regularly consuming oxalate-rich foods like raw kale can place additional stress on the kidneys and increase the risk of painful stone formation. If you've ever experienced kidney stones, eating too much raw kale could be silently making the situation worse. But it doesn't stop there. Kale also contains goitrogens, natural compounds that can interfere with thyroid function. For individuals with an underactive thyroid, hypothyroidism, consuming large amounts of kale, especially raw, can worsen symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, and slowed metabolism. This is particularly concerning because many older adults already have undiagnosed thyroid issues. So, should you completely eliminate kale from your diet? Not necessarily. The key lies in preparation. Lightly steaming or sautéing kale can significantly reduce both oxalate and goitrogen levels, making it much safer for your kidneys and thyroid. And as with any food, moderation is essential. Eating kale occasionally and in reasonable amounts as part of a balanced diet will likely bring more benefits than harm. Kale is still a nutrient-rich vegetable, but if you're eating it regularly under the assumption that it's an unquestionable superfood, it may be time to reconsider whether it's truly supporting your health or silently working against it, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to dietary details with age. Number 1. Bell peppers. The shocking. Despite its vibrant appearance and reputation as a healthy choice, bell peppers may not be suitable for everyone, especially older adults. With their bright colors and high levels of vitamin C and antioxidants, bell peppers have long been praised as a super vegetable for boosting immunity and overall health. However, once you reach your 60s and beyond, this seemingly harmless vegetable can trigger unexpected reactions affecting digestion, joints, and even the skin. One of the most common issues lies in its tough, indigestible skin. As digestion naturally slows with age, high amounts of insoluble fiber, like that in bell pepper skin, can lead to bloating, acid reflux, or stomach discomfort. If you often feel gassy or overly full after meals, the culprit might be hiding in your salad bowl. Furthermore, bell peppers belong to the nightshade family, a group of plants that contain solanine, a natural compound linked to inflammation and joint pain. For seniors dealing with arthritis, stiffness, or chronic pain, regularly consuming nightshades like bell peppers, eggplants, or potatoes may unknowingly worsen symptoms. If your joint discomfort seems to spike after meals that include bell peppers, your body may be trying to tell you something. Additionally, some people with sensitive constitutions may experience mild allergic reactions to bell peppers. While rare, symptoms like rashes, stomach cramps, or an itchy throat can occur and are often overlooked. So, should you stop eating bell peppers entirely? Not necessarily. How you prepare them makes a big difference. Roasting or peeling the skin can make bell peppers easier to digest. Cooking them thoroughly can also break down some of the solanine content, reducing their inflammatory potential. If you enjoy their flavor, eat them in moderation and favor gentle cooking methods. In conclusion, while bell peppers are often labeled as a health food, they may silently contribute to digestive discomfort, joint inflammation, or allergic reactions, especially for older adults. The key isn't to cut them out entirely, but to understand how your body responds and prepare them in a way that works for you. Health isn't about eating more or less, it's about eating wisely for your body, your needs, and your stage of life.